you for joining us. Welcome to Foolin About, a podcast about anything we feel like talking about, but mostly about films and series. You can find us on Twitter at Foolproof Media, on YouTube at Foolproof Media, or on Spotify on their Foolin About. I'm your host, Anne, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Rebs.
Hi there.
Today we are going to be discussing the recently released Ghost sketch for Comic Relief that aired yesterday on Red Nose Day, starring special guest star Kylie Minogue.
We sure are.
Well, should we just jump right into it, like get straight to the point?
Yeah, sure. We have a lot to talk about.
We do.
So, obviously, recently we've just seen the episode. Well, sketch. We might refer to it as an episode, but we do mean sketch when we are talking about it. Just want to get that off the bat. We watched it live, and obviously we then rewatched it on YouTube. For the people that don't know, it has been uploaded on YouTube. It is under Comic Relief. So if you just want to have a quick search of that on YouTube, it'll be up there. So one thing we realized immediately is the different intro.
Yes.
So with Comic Relief, on their YouTube, they uploaded the sketch with a different intro, which when I say different intro, I mean like music. When they did it live, they used the typical Ghosts intro music, and also like the typical ending credits. I think like the ending credit music, I think, if I remember correctly. But with the YouTube video, they didn't. I'm not sure why this is why this is. Perhaps it's, I don't know, copyright or something along those lines. Not entirely sure, but something else in the intro that many of us have realised is we get to see Mary being sucked off.
Oh God, yeah.
In both the live and the YouTube, like she just goes yum and she's gone. Like,
oh, it's so sad. But I think that's just because, obviously when it was written, she was still in there. She was still part of the cast because she left after.
No, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. So I mentioned it to everyone because after we saw it live, many of us joined a call and we all started talking to each other. And I was like, oh, like, I don't want to make things sad, but this episode was written for last year before Series 4 was released. So before Mary was sucked off. So Mary would have been written in this episode. They couldn't have left Mary out because it would have been aired before Series 4. And everyone was like, right, we wanted one happy moment and you've ruined it. Like, why do you have to bring that up? And yeah, so R.I.P. Mary.
Yes, R.I.P. Mary. Oh, I miss her so much.
Like, oh, I wonder what Kylie would have said about Mary. Or what Mary would have said about Kylie.
Oh my God. I don't know. Probably something about her wearing trousers instead of skirts.
But yeah, if we just get into the episode, the first thing I noticed was Julian and Robin playing chess in the background. It's an easy miss, but I loved it so much.
Well, I mean, how could they be doing anything different, right?
I love the little hints to the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that happen within this sketch that are just references to the current show, and it just makes it great because it's obviously a bit of a nod to the current watchers of Ghosts. Yeah. And also obviously many people watch Comic Relief who don't watch Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And it means that if they go back now and they start watching Ghosts, they'll be like, hey, that was in the Comic Relief sketch.
We might just get a new influx of new Ghosts fans.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, something I noticed in the episode, it comes a little bit later on, when Fanny just goes, they're talking about her being in her grave or something, and she says, well, technically I am, meaning she's in a grave, but she says it's all very confusing. So I was like, okay, is she not in her grave?
I mean, yeah. The thing is, I mentioned that with that comment, obviously you could take it as wait, what? Where's her body?
Yeah.
What did her husband do to her body once she got pushed out the window?
Is there a story here that we don't know about?
Or you could take it in the sense they probably were going for the fact that technically her body is in a grave. However, her body, i.e., her ghost, is still wandering the grounds of Burton House.
Yeah,
That's how I saw it, but it can be seen two ways.
that is probably the most reasonable explanation, yeah. But still, it got me like quite confused the first time I watched it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've already watched it like 7, 8, 9 times already. I've like
Way too many, way too many.
already, it's been an hour or two and we're already quoting it constantly. We know it off by heart already. This is bad. But shortly after actually that quote, Pat mentions Elton John and ABBA.
Hmm.
What did he say after? It's just
Pop charts.
he starts talking about the charts, and then it's kind of like he's like, "Oh yeah, what did he say? I've forgotten now. I'm literally just saying I'm gonna know it off by heart, and now I've forgotten what Pat says." Fake fan here, but no, it's just like Alison needs to show Pat that ABBA and Elton John are still big today.
I know, and obviously with like the ABBA, they're touring again, like the virtual tour.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god, he would love that.
Justice for Pat. Pat needs to use Thomas's headphones. I know Thomas is listening to the Smiths, which good on him. Smiths is great. I love the Smiths. But Pat needs to listen to some ABBA or some Elton John. Like, you know, this is the second time he's mentioned Elton John now, so he obviously is a big fan.
John Elton.
John Elton. Is that John, Elton?
And the funniest thing about that as well, I think when you see like a quick shot of Fanny's face and she just gives like a major eye roll to Pat saying pop charts.
Fanny's faces were so good throughout this sketch.
Fanny was like, I think Fanny was one of my favorite characters in this episode.
Oh, Martha's acting was so good this episode. But
Oh god, she was amazing.
all the acting like were really good. But I loved Martha so much. I mean, another thing as well though that I really liked was I know this scene was like we saw this scene prior to the sketch. This was part of the snippet, but the whole thing was like people with a pulse, and then Mike's just like, did they say it?
Yeah, that was an amazing. Oh god, that was such a great scene.
Love it so much.
I love how she's trained them too. Like,
Oh yeah, they kind of know their place.
I would not expect that from like series one.
No.
She's like trained them so well.
Character development.
Oh god. Oh, and another thing that like speaking of series one, when she opens the door, she's like it, and obviously it's Kylie, and she's like all so shocked. She says, "Do come in on,"
You come in on.
which is like also a reference to series one, where she also says,
Yeah.
which it like I forget which series it is. Is it with Lucy?
I don't know, it's to Barkley and Barkley's wife. It's when she's trying to impress them, and she's all dressed up for it's Moonstone. It's Moonstone. It's that episode. And she's all dressed up and stuff, and like Mike's like, "Oh, I'll put a shirt on if you lose the pearls." And then they walk to the door, and then it's like, "Oh, do come in on." Before she literally just drops the wine all on the floor because she hands it to Kitty. But I love that, like, even though Alison's like really shook up, like not shook up, that's the wrong way of saying it. Like she's very like, oh my god, it's Kylie Minogue, you're my favorite. Mike's also freaking out. Mike's like, he's like, oh, might cup Mike. They're both just freaking out that Kylie's there.
And then just Kitty in the background, like absolutely freaking jealous of that. Ellison says she's a big fan of Kylie.
Oh yeah,
which is amazing because we totally predicted that Kitty would be absolutely jealous of Kylie.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because in the previous episode we said she's either very, very happy or very, very jealous.
Yeah, we definitely guessed that. Predictable Kitty. But he's like, oh, who what was it now? It's just like, oh, you're my favorite. And then Kitty's like, what? But what's really funny, obviously later on we learn that, we'll talk about this a lot later on, but obviously Kylie can see the ghosts. So Kylie definitely saw that interaction with Kitty being like, what? So that definitely set it up well for Kylie.
Yeah.
But then of course Kylie like enters Button house. And Julian gets up. He's still playing chess with Robin, and then he gets up and he's just like, "It's Kylie Minogue." And then Thomas is like, "The poet?" No, the pop singer, the pop star. And then it's just like Julian's like, "She's huge," and Robin's like, "She's really not," or something like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think all their interactions, like all their what they say, like their first reactions to Kylie are so funny. Like as well with Captain as well, just being like, "Oh, she's rather fabulous. I find myself strangely drawn to her energy," and he's like so smiley when he says it, and like it's obviously because like Kylie's like a gay icon,
Mhm.
like, and it's just like there's these little obviously like not references but like little snippets of like Captain is gay and he's not like series 5.
Well, I mean, speaking of ghost reactions to Kylie, my favorite one of the reactions would have to be Fanny.
Yeah, and he was great.
I'm only laughing just thinking about it. She goes, "She's from Australia," and then Robin goes, "What does that mean?" And then she says that we should probably hide the silverware.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, it cracks
like
me up.
it's kind of like as well though. At first, I was like, okay, why is she saying that? But then after like a really really quick Google search, you kind of realize like what she actually means by it. It's just
Yeah, so basically, this is a bit of a history lesson, but between 1788 and 1886, more than 162,000 convicts were transported from the UK and Ireland to Australia. So basically, these convicts were sent here because they'd committed crimes in the UK and in Ireland, and getting sent to Australia was basically their punishment. So those people, even after they'd completed their sentence, they would stay in Australia, and so that's like a large portion of the Australian population. Um, which is why Fanny obviously thinks she's a convict, and then she's like, "We should hide the silverware." And a few minutes later, you can hear her in the background just going, "Everything in the house, she'll take it all."
because there's so many like little bits in the background that you don't, and unless you focus on the characters, you don't like realize they say it.
Yeah, obviously because they're all talking over each other, right?
Yeah, and it's just like she also like says it again later on, like she's gonna take everything. Like and he's like so like like freaking out, like she's gonna steal everything. Like obviously it's like a throwback as well to Bump in the Night, is it?
Mhm, mhm.
Where of course she's just you've got obviously the burglars. I can't say the word. You've got the people robbing Burton House, and literally you just have her like helping them out, and then like tired, like she's gonna take everything. Like
Fanny's learned from her mistakes, it seems.
definitely has. I mean, it's also like another thing we predicted though, which was really weird when it happened. Obviously, we were joking around like in our last thing, like trying to predict what the comic relief sketch was going to like entail. And we like
Mhm.
said, "Oh, what if it's a fake Kylie?"
I know.
We didn't like. We were just joking about that, but literally, like Julian was like, "Oh, Kylie wouldn't look like that. She's an imposter." How? How did we guess that?
Yeah, that was such a coincidence. Oh my god.
I absolutely love that. Like Julian also like possessed 3 Kylie Minogue like calendars during his lifetime as well.
I thought he was a Samantha Fox stan.
Oh, I know. I think he just likes all the women.
Yeah, that does sound like Julian, yeah.
But then it's crazy though because of course then Kylie's just like, oh, where's the bathroom? And obviously she's like, oh, over there, over there. And then obviously everyone else leaves, and it's just Kylie and the ghost. And then Kylie just turns around and then she's the ghost, which again we predicted that as well. Like we predicted that she was going to see the ghosts.
We were on fire with our predictions.
We really predicted like the majority of this plot, which is
Oh my God.
crazy.
It
And like
is.
honestly, she sees the ghosts, and then I absolutely love like I said, it's really difficult a lot of the time to pinpoint what each of the ghosts is saying because a lot of it is talking over each other.
Mhm.
But I absolutely love where like she just shouts at the ghosts, and then you just got Captain going, "Oh, hey now,"
Oh.
and he's like sarcastic, like he's like taken aback.
Yeah, but do you know what I also think, like, in that scene,
Yeah,
obviously, like, Robin's asking what Australia is, and then she's like, "Oh,
yeah.
uh, Australia is a large island, in the southern atmosphere." And then he turns around and he's like, "What was that?" And then Captain just rolls his eyes at him.
Sassy Captain,
He's
he
so
got that
sassy
dad.
for no reason.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is the thing though as well. We actually find some plot out. Like, I think in the last episode I said that it'd be funny if we found actual like something to like actually aid the plot. But
Mm,
obviously, Kylie is like saying to Fanny how she's outdated and stuff, and how her views on Australia and Australians are like outdated. And then she like uses the excuse, "I'm 168 years old," and obviously going off when this was like aired, which was 2023, that would make Fanny's birthday 1855.
yeah.
So that, we kind of now know when Fanny was born. I mean, if it's going off, say, like, obviously it was written last year, the sketch. So that would mean it'd be like 1854. But I think they would have corrected it for this year.
Yeah.
So 1855. But oh my God, like, after that, my like next favorite interaction was when obviously it was really funny because I saw myself. It's weird because you have like Kylie and she sees the ghost and then she interacts with the ghosts individually,
Yeah.
which mirrors when Alison first acknowledged the ghosts and then interacted with
Oh,
them
right.
individually. Like, do you see
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a very
Yeah.
like it mirrors it very like almost identically, really. Like going like caveman and like just pointing them out. I absolutely love that. But
Wait, is it the same order as well?
um,
Because first
I'm
she
not
goes,
sure.
who did she address first?
Um, I don't know. The only thing I really remember is divorce him, kill yourself, marry me. No. To which bit? um, and then you've obviously got Pat. I just wanted to say hello. Hello. Oh, hi. um, no, and then you've just got renounce Satan, witch. Yeah, yeah, that shall do it. Oh, poor
Oh, I
Mary.
miss
Um,
Mary. Oh God.
I mean, maybe Mary might have done that in response to Kylie. We won't know because R.I.P. Twice. But obviously we're going off track to the other
Yeah.
episode. But
Did you still wanna talk about the captain scene with Kylie?
oh my God, yes, literally, I love that scene so much, and everyone was freaking out about it. So obviously Kylie goes army man, obviously Captain, and then Captain's like, yes, please. And then like Kylie's like, I see you, and I'm very much here for your people. And like obviously she's saying the LGBTQ plus like community. It's the gays, and then Captain like is like the forces, and he has this like little smile on his face, and Kylie's just like, huh?
Oh, but I mean, that would be such like, what if we just started calling the LGBTQ community the forces instead of the LGBTQ community?
That's what people are doing on Twitter. Like everyone now was literally like, I'm a member of the forces. Like with just the pride flags next to the forces. Um, You know how it's gonna be the new like I'm a friend of Dorothy. I'm a part of the forces.
Oh my God, yes.
Literally, it's the new thing.
Oh, I
It's the
love
new
that so
thing,
much.
honestly.
But you know what I think the best thing about that little scene is?
Interaction. Yeah, yeah.
Like how he fixes his tie, like very prideful after he says divorces, and he fixes his
Awesome.
tie with like so much pride in his eyes. It's so cute.
Oh, I mean, it's so cute. And also, again, I keep saying flashbacks because this sketch really mirrors so many other episodes that have already happened. Like, him fixing his little tie was like in the Christmas episode
Yeah.
when obviously Alison's putting the mistletoe up, and then it's just like, oh, in case any handsome men are in the house or something along those lines, or like, and then Pat and Captain like fix their ties.
I literally have a sticker of that moment on my laptop.
Oh my
Looking at it
god.
right now.
Well, talking of Captain and Pat, actually, Captain Pat's Pat. So obviously, like Julian's freaking out, and Pat's like, "Who's she? Like, I don't know her." And then obviously Julian's like, oh, "How do you not know her?" And of course, we find out that Neighbours. It was like, I forgot the date, 1985,
Yeah.
and obviously Pat's like got shots, pew pom pom, in 1984, which meant that obviously Pat doesn't know who she is, and obviously
Mhm.
Captain's there, and Captain like Pat's Pat, and oh my god, I love them so much.
Just a little pat on the back.
Okay, I have to do this. Obviously, then Kylie turns to Thomas and is like, "Oh, we need to deal with this." So obviously, Thomas is there, like she's as beautiful as her verse, and like obviously, like he's gushing again. We predicted that. And then it's kind of a thing that Thomas is like, I can't marry you. I love Alison. And then it's just kind of just like, that's somewhat development. It's still like, of course, Thomas isn't over Alison, of course. But he acknowledges that Kylie is beautiful.
Mhm.
And
It's a step in the
he
right
doesn't
direction.
he doesn't try and pursue her. So it's
Yeah.
kind of the thing that, of course, when Lucy came on the scene, immediately Tom's like, "Oh my god!" But of course, now Kylie was on the scene, like he doesn't try and pursue her, which it is it is somewhat a development. And of course, as soon as it's like she's like, "Oh, that's fine then," and then he has like this little smile. He's like, I loved Thomas in this episode, like this sketch, like so much.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Do you know who my favorite was in this like this little sketch?
Who?
Kitty.
Of course.
Of course, can't be anything else. But yeah, basically, particularly this scene where she's like talking outside to Alison, and she's like, "Oh, you can refer to me as better than Kylie, because I've made a list with 34 reasons."
She's prepared.
She's just like made a list with 34 reasons that she's better than Kylie in the span of like 2 minutes. I love her so much.
Again, prediction. We predicted that.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't predict the 34 reasons, but we definitely predicted that like Kitty was trying to like better up Kylie,
Oh my
essentially, or
god,
like
yeah.
trying to be Kylie in a way. But then, of course, later on,
Hmm.
well, you have Alison, who is just like you have Alison, and she's like, "Oh, I have to go deal with this thing and take this thing back into the room," and then you just got Kitty going, "Yee!" She's all, like smiling. And then, of course, they go back in the room, and Kylie is just shouting at the ghosts. And then, obviously, Alison's talking to Kitty, and then they bump into each other. And then, obviously, Kylie is like checking the acoustics, and like again, we predicted that she was going to do some form of like check or echo check, which is kind of funny.
I mean, like I said, we were on fire with these predictions.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're just bouncing ideas off each other. But then, of course, Alison is like, "Oh, I've just like, what was it, like doing lines for my play or like a possible play," and then they realize they both can see the ghosts, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Um, but there's also that like thing as well that her manager, Kylie's manager, takes pictures of the house as well. I think like just before that scene, I think, or maybe after. I can't remember. It's like around that time though. Um, yeah, Kylie's manager takes pictures of the house, which I thought was going to lead on to something.
Hmm.
Because of course they're all in the window, because of course the scene after is them around the piano.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
So I thought that the like manager was going to get
A picture of Fanny.
and get a picture. Yeah, it's going to Fanny's exposed all over again.
She's gonna take a picture of Fanny.
It'd be so right, okay. It'll be so funny though if like the picture that like the manager took was just Fanny just going, hide the silverware, just freaking out about Kylie. But oh, I loved it. Like, just this sketch was amazing. I
Oh
absolutely
god,
loved this
yeah.
sketch. I wish it was longer. I'm happy that it was on the longer side, because it was like 7 minutes long. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it could be like 4.
Yeah.
But oh, there's like so much. There's so much room for like development.
Hmm. It was a great sketch, absolutely. But then, speaking of the piano,
Yeah,
they do sing the song. They sing "Lucky in Love."
yeah. I know. It's like I just died at that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. We knew. I think everyone kind of knew that they were going to definitely do Lucky in Love,
yeah, of
because
course.
obviously it's already been referenced so many times.
Hmm. Yeah, but at the end, just Julian just goes, "Okay, it's Kylie." That was such a good. I love that
Oh
as well.
yeah,
But then Mike at the end is obviously talking to like Tess Ross, Kylie's manager, and he's like,
yeah,
"Is it everyone but me?" And then they both just like celebrating the fact that they can't see ghosts.
yeah. Yeah. Like Mike now has a friend who understands.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then they just go on, and then obviously they kind of they leave, and they're like, "Oh, we'll think about it." And then, oh, it's the cutest scene because they're all outside the house, like all the ghosts are like waving her goodbye, and then Pet says, "Don't be a stranger," and then you hear just Caption just going, "Fabulous," and then he just like points his little swagger stick like in like waves.
Yeah.
It's such an adorable scene, like everyone waving goodbye to Kylie and she's not coming back.
No, I bet you Alison's there. Like she's definitely gonna come back. Or because of course you see Mike and Alison talking in the background. It's either like she's definitely coming back, or literally Alison be like, she's not gonna come back. Like
Yeah.
knowing like literally the ghosts. Talking of the ghosts though, no Humphrey. I know there's no Mary, but there's no Humphrey. Just
Yeah,
this
well,
Humphrey.
where did Humphrey go?
Like literally, like I understand that makeup and stuff. I feel like they wouldn't have had much time, but again, it was only a very short sketch. But
Yeah.
no Humphrey. Oh my god, it's so sad. Like it could have literally, they could have done the thing just with Humphrey's body walking around. So of course
Yeah.
that's not Larry. And they could have just had Kylie react to that, but like no Humphrey. But okay, we definitely need to talk about the end scene though, with them singing together.
Oh yeah, like after the sketch.
Like legit. Okay, so like Captain using his like swagger stick as a mic.
Oh, that was so. Oh, I love that.
Like literally when they're like singing like Lucky in Love, like oh my god. Okay, but you know for a fact, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about now. Talking about
Mhm.
this, literally.
Yep.
Okay, Thomas's solo. Okay, so I cried. I love Thomas so much. He's my favorite character. Like I resonate with him so much. Like he is me, and just oh my god, Kylie just being like, take it away, Thomas. Just like your turn, Thomas. Like I'm pointing at him. Matt just does these really high notes. And, like he has his little solo. And then I don't know if he's prepared for it. Like he has a little voice crack in it as well, which is really funny. And then you've just got Lolly corpsing. Like of course, like Kitty's like giggly anyway. And then obviously you've got Pat, like Jim, just like smiling. But Lolly's losing it. Like if you go back and watch it, Lolly is just losing it. And it is so funny.
I mean, would you be able to keep it together if you'd be standing next to that?
No.
Because I know I would.
But literally, Matt Bainton doing the highest notes he can do. I mean, I think it's Matt is like smiling through it as well. Like, of course,
Mhm.
you can just play it off saying that Thomas was just really excited because he got to sing her beautiful verse, and
Mhm.
because she asked him to sing her beautiful verse. But literally, I bet you Matt was corpsing so
Mhm.
much. He was like trying to hold it together because he was doing like really high notes and literally just Oh my god, it was just Lolly, I can't get over it. Just Lolly, just giggling so much.
Yeah, well, I feel like they realized it wouldn't have to be that serious because it wasn't really part of the actual sketch. It was just more of like
No,
an
exactly.
after thingy. But I mean, I'm still so happy that we got to see it because it was like amazing.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, is this canon? Is what happened canon now into the plot? That's the
I
question.
really hope
So of
so.
course, Captain's like come out his shell a lot as well.
Yeah. And also, of course, like Fanny's birth year is now confirmed. So I
Yeah,
do hope it's going to be canon, or otherwise we would lose that piece of information again.
yeah. No, I definitely think it is canon, but no, I still just can't get over. But I've only just realised that just the mirror of like Kylie and Allison and the ghosts. Like it's a pure mirror.
It is, yeah, which is so cool.
Like it is really cool how they did it. Like I want more. I really want more. Like as soon as they ended, I was like, oh, but then of course it was like, oh, we can see them singing, and then obviously it was Thomas's solo, and I lost it. But then I'm just like, no, I want more. Like you set up so much. Like obviously you took pictures of the place, like where are those pictures going to go? Of course, Kylie's going off to some castle to do it, but then what are the ghosts going to talk about? They're obviously going to talk about Kylie. Like, what's Alison's reaction to it? Is Alison going to reach out to Kylie? Like, because she's found someone who can also see the ghosts.
Hmm.
Like, but it's kind of funny though because obviously Alison's stuck with the ghosts, right? So
Hmm.
as much as like if we were with them, we'd be like, oh, this is so cool. Like, be with Thomas like 24/7. Oh my god, I would love that. So we could write poetry. Like, it's awesome. And of course, Captain and just all of them. But of course, obviously, Alison stuck with them. And
Yeah.
of course, then you've got um Kylie. Like, we've got so used to Alison accepting the ghosts and like just being fine with their presence that I think we've kind of just, we just assume that Kylie would like love them for a bit. And just no. I feel like Kylie just had enough of them and like she was like, no, no. I prefer going to like an
Not
axe
doing this.
wielding what was it, like an axe wielding ghost in like a castle or something?
Yeah.
That probably is a reference. That could be I don't know. I mean, there's a really, I mean, Windsor's not too far. Windsor Castle isn't too far. So like the
Hmm.
castle, that's not too far from my Horsey place. So they could be referencing that. I'm not sure. Again, it's another thing to like look into. But
I mean, it was just perfect. The entire sketch. It was absolutely perfect.
yeah, I mean, this is another thing though. Like going back to like Larry's tweet before, where he was like, "Oh, they get a very special visitor," or do they? Like, was that a reference to her like not being a real Kylie and like referencing what we thought? We got that on the head, right? So, or do they? Like, is it really Kylie? Um, I think we actually got that pretty well. As
Yeah.
well though, just the whole very special visitor, or do they?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the entire sketch was just amazing, and I think everyone just absolutely loved everything about it.
Yeah, it was so
Um,
good.
which is why we did a little thing where we asked Ghost Twitter to send in their thoughts about the episode, and we will be running those clips in just a moment. But first, I want to thank everyone for listening and remind you to give us a follow on our social media to get updated about upcoming episodes. So that's Twitter at foolproof_media, YouTube at foolproof_media, and on Spotify under Foolin About.
But now it's time to hear what people on Twitter think about it. But it's bye from us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
See you guys!
Hi, I'm Luna. My favourite part of the sketch was anything that the captain said. His reactions were perfect as always, and it was great to see him coming out of his shell a little bit.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I absolutely love the comic relief special of Ghosts, especially when Kylie Minogue said to Captain that she's here for his people and he assumed the forces. Pretty much any comment that Captain said was really, really funny. When he feels a strange presence towards Kylie, we know what you are, Captain. Also, Thomas's solo in the song, obviously, I love that so much. I have no idea how Matt did not corpse in that scene. And of course, the intro with Mary sucking off was absolutely devastating and uncalled for. Yeah, thank you.
Today we are going to be discussing the recently released Ghost sketch for Comic Relief that aired yesterday on Red Nose Day, starring guest special Kylie Minogue.
Guest special.
Did I say that?
You said guest, sorry, guest special. Guest special. Oh, Anne.
Oh my god. It's the excitement, I think.
Yeah. You know, I'm just rambling on now, I think. Just
Yeah.
you can cut that out.